Do you want to know how you can boost your ROI by 20% in 30 days on Google Ads? Well, stick around. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do that in this video. Why am I qualified to show you this? Well, I help financial services lead generation company Blue Global add $9.4 million in annual revenue at the same ROI. I've also helped Sunglass Hut increase their online orders by 42%, and that was associated with a 14% increase in ROI. I've also helped commercial property advisors increase their leads by 515%, and that was associated with a 32% decrease in cost. I've been buying ads on Google for over 20 years. Today, I'm going to show you my 4-step framework on how I take Google Ads campaigns to scale them, typically increasing ROI by 20% or more, and that happens within 30 days. So let's get into it. Step 1 is having a first-party data first strategy. In Google Ads, data is so important. You're dealing with machine learning and algorithms, and the more data that you can provide these algorithms, the smarter they're going to behave on your behalf. And so if you don't have good quality first-party data, that is the first order of business. But if you are an established company and you've been generating first-party data, you have a lot of customer data that you've collected in a permission-based manner that's privacy-centric, that they opted in and gave you permission to give you their data, then you've got the golden ticket for getting success on Google Ads and doing that in a quick manner. Again, if you don't have that data yet, then that's the first step that you're going to address, is collecting great first-party data. It's really easy to do in Google Ads. What you want is to start generating conversions, and essentially you want to teach Google who your best customer is. And if you have that data already, then you can upload it and give it to Google and tell them exactly what you want to do with that data. And you're going to have much more efficient campaigns. They're going to work quicker for you, and they're going to go out and know how to find customers that match who your best customer looks like, and then deliver them to you so that you can serve ads to these people. What's great about Google Ads is while you're running your ads, you have a lot of that data that's recent. So you might have an old customer list, but your current ads are generating you new customers, and you're able to get that recent data, that really rich web data for Google to use. And if you don't have that, you can supplement with an offline list, but you really want to use both together. So Google can learn from an offline user database as well as an online collection of data, and it can merge the two together. So that's really what you want to build and work towards. Now, obviously, the higher the quality of customer data that you can give Google, and that means your highest revenue generating customers, if you can isolate that data and give it to Google, you're just empowering them to do a much better job at finding those types of people that match those profiles on a statistically significant level to then deliver and serve your ads to. Now, Google uses that data in different ways, whether it's search or video or display or other campaign. And so search might be a little bit different, but you really want to isolate and find your highest quality customers and have them in bulk. So Google likes to have at least 1,000 users matched. So if you can give Google 1,000 of your highest quality customers, it's going to be able to use that data to get you more. If you need to supplement that list, let's say you only have 300, well, you can use lists such as an email subscriber, and you can kind of fill in that gap so that Google can have enough users to go after. But that's why you want to continue advertising, continue collecting those highest quality customers, so that you can teach Google's algorithms exactly who to go after on your behalf. Now, once you have that first-party data uploaded into Google Ads and you're advertising and you're collecting that recency data and you're merging the two together, step 2 is the Pareto chop. And what that means is going with an 80-20 lens and looking at your campaigns, and you're gonna figure out what is not working. So typically, 80-20 rule applies everywhere, and that's the same is true for your Google Ads campaigns. So about 20% of what you're actually spending money on is producing the majority of your new customers. And so the key now is to go in and find out all of those areas that are not really productive in terms of ad spending, and you're gonna go and cut all those out, the majority. So it's very strategic in how you want to do that. You want to make sure that you're actually cutting things that aren't contributing to new customers and doing it on a reliable and affordable basis. But step 2 is going to be that Pareto chop. You're going to go in, identify areas of wasted ad spending, unproductive ad spending, hit or miss ad spending, and you're gonna cut all of that out. Now, once you've gone through and cut out a lot of that unproductive ad spending, your total marketing spend is gonna drop down, but I'm gonna encourage you to reinvest those savings and double down on what is working, and that is step 3. So you're gonna find your best performers, your audiences, keywords, ads, ad extensions, the whole gamut. You're gonna find your best performing assets in targeting, and you're gonna double down. My secret that I like to look at is your impression share figures. Now, impression share is gonna show you what you are missing out on. So if your impression share is 10%, that means that 90% of the available targeting, the available traffic that Google has is not being served to you. And that can be for a couple of reasons. It could be due to insufficient budget or low ad rank. And so if you use your ad spending savings from step 2, from your Pareto chop, you can now reinvest into what does work well for you, rank higher for those audiences, and show up more often with a higher budget. So you're really using all of that wasted ad spend that you cut out, and you're pushing it towards what does work for you, and that's gonna just double down and generate more and more results for you. You might be spending more per lead in some scenarios, but your total leads are gonna go up and your quality of lead is gonna go up. You're gonna be tapping into more higher quality audiences, and it's also gonna allow you to segment down and really drill into your best performers. So if you take a best performing keyword, for example, well, you might wanna segment that by device, and you might wanna serve different ads or different landing pages by device. So what you're really doing is you're doubling down into what your best performers are and putting all the focus there. And that might be 20% of what you were running previously. And that's gonna lead you into step 4, which is to test, test, test. Now, once your campaigns are running and they're more efficient and you're doubling down into what's working, you don't wanna just sit there and watch them run, wait till they start to decline and then resurrect them again. You really want to be pushing things to improve and continuing to scale. And the best way to do that is to just continue testing new audiences, new keywords, and really having a strategic method behind your testing. I like to reserve a 10% budget for testing, but that doesn't always have to be the case. And the key is to have an eye on what you're testing. And so you can test things like landing pages and ad copies, but that's not going to get you a lot of lift. You really want to test very fundamental things such as targeting audiences, even keywords and keyword intent level, and funnels, big picture things, bid strategies, those types of scenarios. And so when you're testing, you always want to keep an eye on what you're working on. You don't want to just throw something in and then keep working, moving on. So what I like to do is segment out a single keyword or a single keyword theme, put it in a separate campaign, and see how it does. Now, one great strategy is to go higher up in the awareness funnel. And so you might have a lower intent keyword that may work well for you, but you're never gonna know unless you test it. And so a real key thing to remember when you're doing these types of testings is, yes, you want to segment it out, keep an eye on how it's performing so that you're aware of what it's doing and it's not just blending into the rest of your performance. But you also want to keep in mind that everything plays well together and it attributes together. And so what that means is you might have a high intent keyword click that then sees a YouTube ad that then clicks on a lower intent keyword. And so everything is playing a role together, but Google has to give attribution somewhere. And so even if you're using data-driven attribution, you might be losing some attribution elsewhere. So just keep that in mind and make sure that your conversion tracking is set up properly, that you have sufficient look back windows, that you're looking at your view through windows for conversions, and making sure that you have enough time there. So one example would be a Performance Max campaign. Just be aware that those campaigns are going to steal a lot of that credit for those conversions when your other campaigns are playing a major role. And the way that you can see this is if you pause those other campaigns, like if you do your Pareto chop and you cut those off, you're gonna see your high performing campaigns start to diminish out of nowhere. Why is that happening? It's because those other campaigns were contributing to the performance of the Performance Max campaign. Everything kind of plays together. So just keep that in mind when you're testing. Now, if you're not getting great results on Google Ads, there might be a few reasons why. One is Google's AI is so powerful today and it's improved so much in just very recent times. Google changes so frequently, and I feel like it's becoming more and more often and more frequent. And so if your provider is not staying up to date on Google's AI, testing the AI algorithm, learning about how it works, and making sure that you're really supporting the algorithms well, then you might not be getting good results. If you're doing things the old way, and even a year or two ago, it's not going to be what's most effective today. So you really need to be up with the times as far as what Google is doing, what its capabilities are today, and how to best support Google's AI in your campaigns. Also, if you don't understand the AI algorithm and what it needs in terms of budget flexibility, bid stability, all these things where you have a machine that's doing a lot of this work that we used to do manually back in the day. So you can't go in and change a bunch of things like you used to be able to when everything was manual. Now you really have to not disturb the apple cart, so to speak. Let the AI move slowly and predictably and not go in and mess around with a bunch of things. So if you don't understand how the AI is working and what it needs, then you're constantly resetting the algorithms and it's going to wreak havoc in your campaigns. So that can cause a lot of bad performance, not understanding the Google's algorithms. And also, another reason why you might not be getting good results on Google Ads is not understanding the complexities of lead gen on Google. So if you have an e-commerce website and you're selling products and people are giving you their credit card and they're paying you money on the internet, then it's very easy to run Google Ads. Lead gen is a lot harder because you have that quality factor. There's no credit card, so you're more susceptible to fraud, to spam, to low quality leads, and you don't have a lot of those safety rails in place to make sure that Google's AI can go out and get you great customers. So not understanding those complexities can really wreak havoc on your campaigns and your lead quality. Again, your Google Ads campaigns should be wildly profitable. They should not be losing money. And if you need some help to look at your campaigns, figure out what's going wrong, I do offer a free audit. Check out the information in the link in the description below. I'd be more than happy to take a look with you and see what could be improved, what results you can get within the first 30 days. So click the first link in the description below and book a call with me, apply for a free audit, and I will see you on the next video.